Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest
down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest Gold, the best weekly Stardom and Marigold podcast anywhere in the world. I'm, as always, Alex, and I'm joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everybody. We are back, much to the surprise of some. We are back with another episode this week, even though we spent like 20 minutes screaming at each other over Now Ishikawa last week. We just can't stay away from each other. We're besties for the resties. Yeah, we're here.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, heading over to the 5-star-network.com for all of the latest articles and podcasts from the wonderful world of pro wrestling. Heading over to the 5-Star Network YouTube channel, which is where this, as well as shows like Actress Stage and No Limit Wrestling, all go up. I don't know what story is No Limit. I feel like you told me last week, and I tuned it out. So
I said we're besties for the resties. Really bad friend, this Alex guy. This Alex person, not even a guy. This Alex person, terrible friend.
yes,
Terrible friend. Doesn't
yes.
even listen to a word I say. We're doing a G1 preview. That will
Oh
be
yeah,
releasing
dude! I
this
left
weekend.
2 questions for you guys, and all, so
Yes.
I was being helpful.
Yes. Actually, I
I'm
liked your
spaced.
questions. I appreciate
Thank you.
them.
They were good. I liked the Aaron Wolf one.
It's better than, in no disrespect to whoever asked this, we will be answering it. Somebody said, "Are you excited to watch Gabe Kidd versus Shota Umino?" And it's like, fuck you. Like, we're not watching that. We're previewing. We ain't reviewing. I hope you know that. We ain't watching that. I'm watching my Taichi matches and my Yu Yu Uemura matches and my Oiwa matches and Tana. Actually, all of A Block. I'm watching A
That's
Block. I ain't
a
watching
lot
B
of
Block.
people. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say A Block is fine. Legitimately, and not to get too much into it, if Hiroki Goto was healthy and if Taichi got in over Newman, A Block would probably be like the best top to bottom block in like years, like
Right.
maybe ever. Because a lot of those good ones during the 2010s had Fale in them. You know what I mean? Like a lot of them had
I'm
just
sure
like a
those
random
matches were
shitter.
fine.
They were. I've always been like a Fale is whatever. Like he's not that bad. He's
Yeah,
just big and
that
fat.
sounds like you.
Like I've never been like an active Fale hater, but he is to the detriment of blocks, or was back in the day. And yeah, I mean if Callum Newman wasn't in this bitch, shit, be one of the best top to bottom blocks in years. But
Yeah,
unfortunately, white boy do be in it. So
that's true.
can't be
And
too
speaking of
excited.
white boys, we are on to Stardom, who announced the lineup and blocks for the 5-Star
That's
Grand
not
Prix
what.
on the 5th. In Red Stars A, we have Bea Priestley making her return to Stardom. We have Waka Tsukiyama. We have Yuna Mizumori, Hanan, Saya Kamatani, Mei Sarah, Lady C, and Azusa Inaba. Quite the block there. Red Stars B is Rina, as of now, Rian, Sayaka Kurara, Azumi, Starlight Kid, Natsupoi, Tomoka Inaba, and Natsuko Tora. That is a great block, I will say. That is an awesome block.
I'm a bit more iffy on this block. Just because it's a lot of matches I've seen, some of which I don't particularly like. But also like just from a talent standpoint, it is a very good block. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
It's
sure.
probably the most like I know what these matches will look like block of them all, in a good way and in a bad way.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know what the fuck red block A is in a bad way. You know what I mean? Like I don't know
Yeah,
what that is. This block I know what it is, and that is good, but
okay.
it's also, you know, like could be a bit bland.
Very true. Now, a block that won't be bland. Blue Stars A. It
That's
is
my
either
favorite block.
Akira or Yuria. Likely Akira.
I don't
Bozilla.
know. It looks like it might be Yuria. She has a
Aya
hometown
Sakura.
match. Last match against Ida.
Iyu
Could be Yuria.
Amasaki,
Sorry.
Saida, Saoriano, Amisore, and Ruaka. There's a lot of like stylistic perfections in that block, and I think
Mm,
it's a really, really well made block.
yeah,
And I'm very much looking forward to Saida versus Buzzilla.
likewise. I think this block works super well for pretty much everybody involved. Um, it's similar to last year's blue block A, where it's like kind of like an interesting one where it's like, oh, like hmm, I can
Mm.
like I there is like certain matches that probably won't be great in it. Um, I'm especially looking at like Ami and Ruaka, for example, which that could be very good, but it depends on how Ami's
Oh,
knee is doing and
versus
whatnot.
Buzzilla? That's gonna be
I,
crazy.
dude, I
Give it
mean,
to me.
I'm excited for all of Bozilla's matches, which is big. Like I
He's
think
been used very well
outside
recently.
of maybe Ano, I think all of these matches have a cool dynamic to them for
Mhm.
Bozilla. And even Ano, I still think will be good because Ano's a good wrestler. Um, but yeah, I really like just like the makeup of this block.
Yeah,
Um, even with Akira, like whether it's Akira or Yuria, while I prefer Yuria as as a wrestler, I think Akira could work well here as well. I think Akira versus Bozilla would be really cool to watch because they're teammates, they're tag team. Um, and yeah, so I'm actually quite excited for this block specifically, and I think Ida will also show out, which is always a plus.
always good. Yeah. All right, and then Blue Stars B is Sari, Momo Watanabe, Hanako, Hina, Momokogo, Rani Agami, Suzu Suzuki, and Konami. They gave Sari one of the weirdest blocks possible, but
Mhm.
I'm sure she will pull it off. And her and Momo Watanabe is a bit of a dream match to say the least. So
Yeah,
that in itself is worth
that's
it.
the match pretty much in this
Yeah.
block.
I also
There are
like
some.
Hina Sari. I think that would be good. Hina Momo Watanabe
I'm
actually is another
Yeah,
one.
I
That's a
think
good
my
good
number two
guess.
is Hina versus Momo. Like that's my
Yeah.
number two most excited match of this block. I'm excited for Hina's first tournament. Honestly, I like Hina a lot, and she's been
Mhm.
showing out pretty well in her future defenses. I hope that that translates to her working up well. You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
think for so long Hina was just the kind of pin girl. You know what I mean? Like she was just the girl that gets pinned in Queen's Quest and the girl that gets beat up by everybody. And it's like now we're seeing the side of her that's really good as like this dominant champion in the future division. I hope even if she's not dominant against people like Momo or Sari, which she shouldn't be, I hope that she can carry that like swagger and confidence and just like, just vibe. I hope she can carry that into these matches as well. Because that is probably the biggest worry for Hina, is that she just kind of like defaults back to being the girl that gets beat up and then loses. Because she's become so much more than that the past few months. So uh, Hina has a high ceiling, and a fairly low floor. But and I think that kind of decides this block. Same with Suzu, low floor but high ceiling. So those two are definitely like, oh, like if they show up, this will be a really good block. Maybe not really good. It'll be a good block. But if they don't, it's just Momo and Sari kind of dragging the load.
As you probably guessed, or just counted, there are 32 entrants this year's Grand Prix. We weren't sure how they were going to do the format. I thought they were going to keep, I think we were all certain they would keep the four blocks, but putting 8 people in each. Quite the decision. 3 people go through from every block, which I don't fully like. I think two
I've
is probably what
kind
we
of
should do, but
I've I understand why they do that because it's
yeah,
like it just like everybody would be eliminated pretty quickly.
I guess unless you did it
But
even, which you can,
you
but
shouldn't.
I don't know.
Like I don't know. I think that was the problem with the Best of Super Juniors was that everybody was just even the entire time, and then
Yeah, but I,
those
I think
losers just
last
go
year
home.
we had a tag league, and that's because everybody who was good simply won forehead
That's what
kind of
I
thing. So
expected.
I
I
don't know.
expect to happen here because the problem with this tournament is that some people just should not be winning matches like at
Yeah,
all.
it's true.
Um, so like, what are we gonna do there? Like I fear how many points Waka Tsukiyama is gonna get. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, what are we doing? Not
um,
even like a I hate walk away, just in a like structurally,
structurally.
that's not how this block should like, like Waka shouldn't be winning matches. And that becomes a problem because there's just so many people in this tournament with
Mhm.
so many people who just don't win. And it kind of makes their matches either uninteresting or illogical. Same with like a Rian. Rian should be going winless in this tournament unless like Tora DQs, I guess. Like I don't know. It having so many people in is kind of a struggle, uh, and it makes some things a bit less interesting.
Kind
But
of. I've come around on it though. I think watching the shows this past week, I think there's too much quality in the roster to leave people out. I think I would have been upset if Lady C wasn't in or like Ronnie Yagami.
I
People
mean,
would
yeah, and I
have
thought
enjoyed
about that. I thought about that a few weeks ago, specifically about Lady C. Was that it's like she is going on 5 years in,
Mm-hmm.
and she hasn't sniffed a 5 star. Like
Yeah,
that's kind of shitty. Like she should probably make a 5 star one of these years. Um, Now this is a
she's
this
in.
is a lot of people, and
Yeah.
it does kind of it
But,
makes it
like,
feel
I
a
don't
bit
know, I
less
think
earned.
there's no bad wrestler in here. I feel like that's the one thing you could hang your hat on. Well,
There
okay,
are there
debatably,
are
there are no
some
bad
bad
wrestlers.
wrestlers in
I
here.
don't think
There's
Waka Skiyama is a bad wrestler when she drops the butt stuff. I
Oh,
don't
do
think
you
Rihanna's a bad wrestler.
can you guess? So every year, oh yeah, by the way, that's why I needed to advertise. My spreadsheet for the 5 star Grand Prix is available now. It has a schedule, it has the customizable blocks and the playoffs and how they're structured and all that. Um, every year, and I know we're going to do a preview, a proper 5 star preview, but
Yeah.
I just thought this was a funny little bit. Every year, I pick one match where the options, instead of the two wrestlers and a draw, uh, one of the options is the fans.
Mhm.
What match do you think the fans might like? What match do you think that it's for the worst match of the tournament?
Let me
The perceived worst match of the
let
tournament
me
on
have a
paper.
look. Okay, can I get one hint?
It's
Is it
red.
red? Okay. Um, I'm going to guess it involves Waka. Waka versus B.
Correct.
I
Of
know you
course. Come
too
on.
well.
Um, Bea Priestley actually has only like like she has matches that she's wrestled before. She's faced Lacey, she's faced Saya Kamatani.
She
Um,
was not gone that long.
I know, like
Not
that's what I realized when I was putting this together because I was expecting all of her matches to be new, and I was like, wait a minute, no, she's wrestled. I don't know if she's ever wrestled Hanan in a singles technically, but yeah, like
probably
she's
not.
wrestled
Definitely tags.
a lot of these people. Yeah.
Um,
Um,
but yeah,
and
we'll do a
she
proper preview of the GP. Um,
yes.
but I do like the lineup. I do like a lot of what we're gonna get. So I can't be too upset. Stardom has confirmed the dates of a few title matches. It's easier to just do it here than to do it in the review. So on the Sapporo pay-per-view, they're doing Hina versus Sayaka Kurara for the Future of Stardom title. They're doing Starlight Kid versus Suri Anou for the Wonder of Stardom title. They're doing Kamatani versus Natsupoi for the World Championship. And then on the 24th in Korakuen, they're running Azumi versus Bozilla and Wingori versus BMI 2000. So that's kind of most of the stuff they've set up earlier this month and late last month. And we kind of have dates now for those and an idea of what's happening. Um, kind of want to do it here. Saya and Natsupoi are going absolutely nuclear every time they
Yeah.
get the microphone. Like they in the press conference before they did the GP
I think
stuff,
you might
they
be you might be I think Natsupo's going nuclear.
okay, yes, Natsupoi fully went nuclear. Before they announced the GP entrance, they let Natsupoi and Sayaka promos to promote the world title match, and Natsupoi said a lot of very interesting stuff. She was like, "You're going off and doing all this entertainment stuff, and you are a fake. You are just pretending to be this bad heel, and you go on these shows and you act like a dork. And I think you're a farce, and I want to save professional wrestling from people like you." Insane. Absolutely
Face
insane.
God.
She's like, you got to retire Tam Nakano. You have stolen her legacy, and this is what you're doing. Nuts. Natsupoi went off. And Kamatani has been very much like, well, I retired Tam. And like this is who I am, this is what I am,
Yeah,
and it's working.
I know I've been critical of Sai Kamatani pretty much her entire heel run, but I do feel like we need more from her because Natsupoi's eating her alive. Because it's like, and I said this last week that Natsupoi is like, yeah, I think you should die, frankly. And then Saikamtan is like, you will bathe in oblivion of the. It's like, what are you saying right now? She's calling you the worst wrestler alive, and is like has receipts about how you're ruining the industry. You can't just be like, I will. I will make you suffer a million. It's like, shut up. Say something. Fight back. Say something of use. Don't just like you're. I don't know. Like Saya loves kind of like because Natsupo is right. Saya loves being like this like comical heel, like a
Mhm.
heel to the point where she's like it's not believable, and that works for her. But it's so funny when Natsupoi says that, and then Saya like kind of just like does it. It's like no, that's what she's talking about. But also, I will credit Saya during the 5-star presser later in the block. She said, "Oh, I guess I got to prove I'm a real wrestler in the 5-star. Uh, I'm gonna go batty batty on all your asses." Kind of like a
Crazy.
yeah, like
This is
which I
great.
appreciate. I thought that was a funny little thing of her being like, "Sorry, I didn't know I had to be a real wrestler" type of thing. Uh, which I did appreciate her kind of just being sarcastic about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, Nuts was just fucking killing her, man. And I love that
It's fun, yeah.
she was like, "Wait, actually, sorry, homegirl, you're cooking. I'm stealing that."
She stole the line. She stole the farce. People got so mad at her calling Saya a farce, and now Poi is like, you know what? Let's co-op that.
She's got a
Let's
fucking
make it a
point,
thing.
bro. Like, she's like, you know what? I agree.
Yeah, no,
Great,
they're
great.
doing good stuff there. I like what they're
Yeah.
doing. I can't lie to you. Natsupoi feels more back than ever. And also, I think to discuss it, Shiori Ano and Kid, they made the match official at Korakuen. They basically, I think Starlight Kid was uploading videos to Twitter to like fill in the blanks of the storyline, which
Mhm.
is that Ano was sad and didn't feel worthy of the white belt. And she said this to Tokyo Sports and not on screen for some reason. Where it was kind of just like, yeah, Ano doesn't feel ready to be challenge the white belt. You know, Tam is gone and everybody is scrambling without their leaders. And then Kid was like, "Ah, you're afraid of me." Ha ha. I was like, "Uh, I'm glad you're finally doing this, but why didn't you do this 2 weeks ago? Why didn't you establish that Ano was upset after losing the tag title match? Like, why has that not been brought up?" Um, so that was why sorry, Ano initially said no. She did not feel worthy of the white belt. Um, and I'm not a big fan of the story itself. Like you did this a year ago with her, and she won it 2 weeks later.
Yeah, I
And you
mean,
also didn't
I
tell
think
on screen. You did this through Tokyo Sports and through Twitter videos from
I think
Starlight Kid, which isn't ideal.
the most, and I apologize because he will be listening to this. I think the most like my most like mind blowing moment was Velke explaining the story, and he's like, "Oh well, this makes sense because this, and this," and then he goes, "Well, actually, half of that didn't matter last year." But and I was like, "Wait, but if most of the things you just said are just like didn't didn't lead to anything, why are they leading to this now?" You know what I mean? If all that stuff was just like and then they retconned it. But now it's no, we can't do that. That's not allowed. We can't just be like, well, now you know, I he's gonna get mad at me and
Probably.
send a 17,000 word paragraph
Yes.
about how it makes sense. But I think it's just kind of a weird and also a weird pre 5-star
Yeah, no, it's
challenge
fine. I
like
don't mind it.
match. I don't know. I think
Ano's gonna
like
turn. That's why. Gonna beat the shit out of
I don't
Natsupoi.
think Ano's turn.
Cost her
I
the
don't think
belt,
Ano's turning.
and that's her arc for the end of the year. We have to watch
I
Natsupoi save wrestling from her old friend.
but you know what?
No,
Sure,
but
sure.
yeah,
if it gets
yeah,
Momo
just
out
go
of that
along with
bitch,
it.
let's go.
Just run with it.
Sure.
Just run with it. No, I think I don't like wrestling is stupid, obviously, but I also feel like you can't do well. Soriano is sad because she doesn't value. She like has no confidence when that manifests for 2 weeks of the year. and never again.
Just kind of out of
Like
nowhere.
she's lost more important matches than a tag title match, which she didn't lose herself. Natsupoi lost that one.
The world title
Um,
challenger lost that one.
yeah. So like Suri Ano being sad just out of nowhere and not wanting the white belt very much comes out of nowhere and isn't a story that they told on screen or very well. But they did
Yeah,
make an
no.
attempt.
I
There
mean,
was an
and
attempt
look
made.
at oh, and this is probably something we should probably talk about a little bit too. Um, Look at Hazuki last year.
Hmm.
Like after she lost the match to who the
Was it
fuck
the
she lose to?
contenders match to Kid or was it the title shot?
She lost to Natsupoi. That's what it was.
Yes. Yeah.
After she lost to Natsupoi, she was like devastated.
Hmm.
And
I
obviously
remember.
Hazuki's more of a wear your heart on your sleeves type of character, but she was devastated, and it like took her faction to kind of lift her back up, and then it took the kid match to kind of fire her back up, and like that was a good story that led to nothing, unfortunately. Um, Ano doesn't do that, Ano
Yeah.
just kind of you know
She's Anna.
serves. She
Yeah.
serves, she serves face, and that's it, and then she's a good wrestler. But she doesn't really like express herself much. So why would you do this like very expressive story without even like telling her, "Hey, okay, you got to express this time, or you got to like say something." Like
You
none
don't
of
just
that
bring it up
happened.
in her promos. Like we try to read all the promos as much as is put online, and she never said I don't feel worthy. She just said no, not right now. You know?
In one of her wasn't Shoot Pro, it was Tokyo Sports interviews. She was kind
Mm.
of like, "I'm not really producing results right now. It doesn't really make sense." That was the most we got. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it's like, sure, but then like, make it into something. Like, I felt like she just like and that was only 2 weeks, and now she's challenging for the belt. Like, she was like, "Okay, I've been persuaded." How? How did you get persuaded? What happened? What changed? Just kid being annoying? Is that really all it takes? Someone to mildly annoy you for a week, and then you're not sad? I wish that was how depression worked. God damn.
It's
Fascinating.
crazy.
Fascinating stuff. But
Um.
it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter that much. I'm
I
just
just I just thought I'd bring it up to be fair to Stardom, because we do say sometimes that they aren't doing anything, so we should bring up the times that they do stuff, even if we don't fully agree with the direction. But we do have two shows to review. The first was Stomping Presents New Blood 2020. No, not 2023. 23. This is on July 4th in front of 153 people at the Tokyo Square. The show unfortunately started with Emma, Maishima, and Rina going to a referee stoppage in 6.5 minutes. Rina got a concussion and had to be taken out of the venue. They did cut this from
well,
the
not
airing,
officially a
so
concussion. They said that they
concussion-like symptoms, basically.
yeah,
Although the
they didn't
website says that it's the
confirm
referee stopped the match because the player sustained a concussion. So their
because
website translates to concussion, but
she got knocked out,
yeah,
uh, which is obviously terrible and not good. But yeah, last I saw, that wasn't officially a concussion, but it might be. So I'm not
it
gonna.
might just be a mistranslation.
Yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, so she suffered an injury, obviously. Um, yeah, it's
And we didn't see the
too bad.
match. We're not going to review the match. They did cut it and kind of respectfully, so just thought we'd mention. So the show actually opened with Kyoka Katatsu beating Kikyo Furusawa in 6.5 minutes with a jumping armbar. This was a fascinating match because I understand
I
it was
liked
bad.
it, but it was bad.
Yeah, like nothing was really connecting. The strikes weren't clean. Nothing really fit. But at the same time, it kind of fit the vibe because Kotatsu was just throwing her strikes like without regard. So of course some of it's gonna miss.
This
But
should have just been
Kikyo
a
just didn't know
UWF
what to do.
match. Like
It
it
was the
really
most
had no reason
UWF
not to be.
like struggle
I
style
thought
match
Kikyo did
ever.
well. Like I thought Kikyo did well for what she could do. Like,
Yeah.
she doesn't really have much. Um, so I thought this was like good enough for her. But yeah, it was bizarre, but I kind of loved it. Um, Even if it was not good, just functionally.
Yeah. So fascinating. Little
Mm.
match there to say the least. And you know what? I enjoyed myself, so that's really all that
Yeah.
matters.
I like Kikyo. I've come
Yeah.
around on her. I think like at first I was
I
like,
put her at number 10 on I think on the No,
Probably,
maybe not. I
maybe.
think she was
I
in
don't know.
consideration,
But
but she was
I
one of
think
my favorite rookies.
at first I was like, it's gonna be hard for her to kind of like fit into the house style. Then I realized that everybody's just kind of doing their own shit. There's not really a house style anymore here.
I think it's a house
Like
style.
there is, but like motherfuckers don't really be trying. Like motherfuckers do not be like conforming to it at all anymore.
They
Like because
definitely do.
I was well, like my point. Well, yeah, I mean, like in tag matches, she is, but that's the thing. These tag matches don't have much substance to them anymore. Like these house show tag matches. So like, it's not that hard of a switch. I don't know
Mm.
if this is making sense at all. Like I don't know if you like for Mio Amasaki, that's the comparison in 2021 or 22, whenever she debuted. It was later than 2021. But maybe. But Mio Amasaki is the perfect example of like someone who tried a lot of like technical stuff early on, and then it didn't really fit into the house style, and she wasn't really able to contribute much, so she changed into like, oh, I do a shit ton of DDTs. Like that's my thing. um and that worked because like it was just a bigger, like she needed to make more of an impact in tag matches. And I don't think that like there's as much of a necessity to make that big of an impact in tag matches um to like prove your worth. I think that might have been a Rossi thing. You know what I mean? Like I think Rossi was the type to be like, okay, if you show that you are good in these like house show tags and you contribute to them well, and like especially you make them better and you can lift it up, then you will get uh more opportunities and just be considered like better. Like you'll be given more leeway, more everything. I don't think that's the same here anymore. Like I don't think that there's a value on these like house show tags or even these Korakuen undercard tags. I don't think that stuff matters as much anymore. So I think there is more room for Akikio to just kind of do her own thing, um, and not completely conform to the style, because I just don't think it matters as much anymore.
Um, I don't know. I think you still need to be able to do high spots and athleticism to really fit. So
Yeah,
that'll
no,
be
I
where I
I
would go.
agree, but I think I don't know. It's different. I think it just demands different things nowadays, and those things are maybe a bit easier for someone who's doing a unique style uh to kind of like conform to. Like when you need
That's
to.
fair.
Like I don't think it's as, you know, by the by the book, like you need to be able to do these things to survive. Like I don't think that's as much of a mandatory requirement.
Yeah. No, I gotcha. Um, we had Rihanna and Hanoka beat Saran and Goda Asuka in 13 minutes. Rihanna won with the
This was 13
Hanaguruma.
minutes?
Yes. Saran and Goda are such a good team. Like even their
Yes.
tag team offense flows really, really well. And I'm kind of upset that they lost because I
Yeah.
I feel like they should be new blood tag champions. They would have good matches with just about everybody. Um, but Rihanna, I guess, is in the tournament, so she's gotta get some dubs. I didn't hate the Rian Honoka team either. I just think Saran is really good, and it's hard to match up to
Yeah.
her.
Saran's awesome. Like she's insane, frankly. Give her
But yeah,
everything. Hot take.
that's I agree.
She should win
That's
Catch the
really
Wave. I know that that's not.
I agree. I also agree. But that's really all on that match. Um, Next one was Hina, Lady C, and Rani Yagami of God's Eye beating Ayasakura, Sayaka Kurara, and Akira. Hina pinned Akira in 15.5 minutes of the Gato clutch to get the win in the preview tag. This match rocked.
Yeah.
This was
Very good.
so good. Like there was so many great pairings. Rani Yagami looked good. Ayasakura looked great. I thought the Hina Akira stuff was really good. Lady C picked her spots and was throwing boots. Like everybody in it just did really, really well. And the pacing was great. Like this could have been on a pay-per-view and it wouldn't have looked out of place. Like that's how hard they worked and how well they worked it.
Yeah. No, I thought this was a very good match. I was like Hina continues to really impress me and just be very good, and I'm always happy that she's very good. Uh, because I was always a Hina guy, when as the kids were growing up, I always was like, man, people sleep on Hina. Like I know Rena's everybody's favorite, and Hanan's the older one, so she's more advanced, but Hina's got some shit to her, and she kind of had a hard time uh through her last couple years of high school, but now that she's able to kind of focus a little bit more on wrestling, she's killing it, and I'm super happy with what she's been producing, even against Akira Kuragane, who, as I've said, I've been very questionable of uh since she kind of debuted and hasn't really advanced much. We'll talk about her advancing a little bit later. um and yeah, this match did kind of tell me that it's like I think Hina could get what's best out of Akira, and also Ai is good, and also Sakakara is good, and also Lady C is good, and also Rani Yakumi's good. So I had a fun time.
That's fair. I think your agenda against Akira is going to really take a beating because she
I
was
don't
great
have
in
an
this, and
agenda
I
against
thought in
Akira.
the next show as well, which I will get on to, she was even better. But yeah, these people rock, and I loved afterwards how everybody was kind of like crowding around Hina. It really feels like she's the big bad of the future division, and whoever takes her down will get a big win.
Which, if you remember, this is what we expected out of Miyu, and they didn't do that.
Yeah.
And Hina is proving to be kind of perfect at it. So shout out to Hina.
Sorry, now I'm trying to multitask, folks, and it's very difficult because I just blanked for a second there. But yes, I agree. I wasn't sure why they didn't tell much of a story with Miyu as the senior of her class, but Hina coming in is like, I've been here a lot longer than all of you, and just kind of returning back challengers is a very good use of her. And it's definitely making her look good and the belt look good, and it's making her challengers look good, which we'll talk about on the next show. Now, we had the New Blood Tag Championship. Waka Tsukiyama and Hanako retained when they beat Yuria and Momokogo. Hanako beat Yuria with a lariat in 15.5 minutes. Yuria debuted a new look. I think it's great.
That's
I
good.
like the hair. I like the color scheme. I like what she's going for. It's a very good gear change, very good upgrade for this big match. And I thought she looked good in the match. Like her and Hanako worked well together, I thought, down the stretch. Um, Waka and Kogo were also kind of there. They put a lot of focus on Yuria, and I think she really stood up in the spotlight and did well enough.
Yeah, I didn't think this was a particularly good rice and bread performance. I've seen better from them, honestly. But it was a very good Yuri Hime performance, so I'm happy. Uh, Momokogo, like you said, was also there. She did well enough. Um, but yeah, I mean, the crowd was behind Yuria big time, and she was selling on point. She was bumping on point, and it felt like she had those moments where it felt like she could win, and that kind of like got the crowd really excited. Um, yeah, it was a good match. It wasn't anything like crazy. Like I said, I thought that Hanako and Waka kind of underperformed compared to even what I've seen from them in the past. Uh,
Yeah.
but I think Yuria overperformed, which was what I wanted. So it kind of balanced out to a fine, kind of
hmm
all right match, solid match. But I was happy with what I got from it.
All right, I agree. That was that show. A lot more
Mm.
enjoyable than I thought going in, but I think it's just the short run time generally, and everybody working hard kind of made it work, and
I was
also us
shocked when
being
you told me
morbidly
that
fascinated by Kotatsu.
all these matches went fucking 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Not
like
literally,
the
but
last two
like
going
10
15
plus.
was like, are you
Yeah,
sure? Did you count that wrong? But yeah, like everybody was trying hard, and I think Kotatsu being morbidly fascinating to both of us helps.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, that was that show, and we are now on to the Corkin. As is on July 6th, they did 1,476 fans for this show because once again, the companies they're doing are or the numbers they're doing are ridiculous. It almost like defies analysis because what do you even say? They got this crowd for a 6-on-6 tag.
Yeah. What the fuck?
I don't know. But you know what? That's the
It almost it
Sayakami
almost
effect.
annoyed me, bro. Because I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, this shouldn't be this easy. Do you know how hard Kagetsu was fucking working to get 800 people in this bitch?
Yeah.
And this got fucking like that's insane. I don't
Yeah.
know. Not even just like how hard like Queen's Quest 2 years ago were fucking working.
Dude, Io Shirai's retirement did like 900.
That's what the fuck are we talking about here? Like this is insane.
It's madness. But this is where we live in. Stardom's doing well. Sai Kamatani is the star. This show opened with oh no, was this match 0? I think it was this
Momo
match
versus
0.
Kikyo.
Yeah. That was a 0, wasn't it?
Uh, I think, but it was good.
Yeah. All right. We then officially opened with Suzu Suzuki, Atsuki Aoki, and Bozilla of Mi Vida Loca, beating Amisore, Lady C, and Kyoka Kotatsu of Godzai. Bozilla pinned Ami in 12.5 minutes with a power bomb to fully establish Bozilla. I thought they built this match really well around Bozilla. Like, she was just presented as a wrecking ball from start to finish. She was taking
Yeah.
out 2 wrestlers at once sometimes, and then the finishing stretch with her and Ami was really, really good. I think visually, it was very good for them to just go shoulder to shoulder a lot. Her power bombing Ami is quite the visual. It really made
The
Bozilla look like an
Styles
absolute
Clash.
monster. That was great.
She
The
said,
shout out
"Shouts out me
Mikoyoto,
too."
crazy. But yeah, like this was a good match, and it was largely down to them presenting Bozilla as just an absolute wrecking ball.
Yeah, I had fun here. I always kind of enjoy Itsuki work in Stardom. I think that's one person that I do wish was in the 5
Mhm.
star because I feel like she would have been a really cool addition. Um, but yeah, I thought this match was very good. I will say I'm confused by Suzu Suzuki's existence in the summer of 2025.
Yeah,
Um,
no white belt match for her at all.
Not even like a sniff of
Yes.
it. Yeah, no.
No.
And like the 5 star promo she cut was like oh what the fuck? She was talking about the sponsor. She was talking about stomping or whoever the fuck's sponsoring the like I was like, "Do you have anything else you would like to say? Do you have any goals, aspirations, anything? You just beat the Wonder Champion." And you don't even have to do that. I mean, fucking Natsupoi lost.
Mm.
She challenged for the fucking red belt. Like you could just do shit, Suzu. Like I don't know what's I digress. But yeah, I thought that Mi Vida Loca looked in form here, which is kind of what you want because it is kind of been a rocky rollout because of just like inconsistencies with the lineup. So I was happy to finally see like a strong trios match from Mi Vida Loca, and you know obviously their dancing partners were very good too. Ami and Lady C work super well together. I realized this is the first time that they've worked together in the same faction because they were
Oh
obviously
wow.
a tag team for a long time, but they were a cross faction for tag team. Uh, Lady C didn't join God's Eye until after Ami was already hurt. So, like an interesting, like that was kind of interesting to me because I was like, I've seen this before, but it feels more right now
Mm.
because this is the first time that they've actually gotten to like properly tag together in like a smaller match where you can kind of see them doing tag work together. So that was fun, and yeah, I thought it was a good match in general.
All right. Then went on to Saki Hashima, Yuna Mizumori, Aya Sakura, Sayaka Kurara, and Yuria Hime, beating Hazuki, Koguma, Wakasukiyama, Hanako, and Rian in 10 minutes when Saki Kashima pinned Rian after Kurara hit a spear. That was actually 11 minutes, not 10. Um, it was okay. I
I
thought,
think
Saki Kashima being funny was like the highlight. But you could tell a
honestly,
lot of people were not used to working with the people they were teaming with because there was a few parts where they were late to spots.
I think Hazuki matches at this point get points deducted from me because they make me upset actively. This is her 11th anniversary match. To the
Wow.
day. This was her 11th, and she lost to fucking Sayaka Kurara. Obviously, it wasn't her. Rihanna got pinned. But her team lost to Sayaka fucking Kurara and Saki Kashima. Dude,
Yeah.
we didn't talk about it. FWC not in the 5 star. Um, they claim it was a matter of FWC deciding not to be in it, or at least Hazuki decided not to be in it. Koguma, they didn't. Koguma didn't necessarily say like, "Oh yeah, I decided not." She was just kind of like, "I'm not in it." So take that as you will. I don't even fully believe that they made that boss call, if you will. Uh, I think they just hate them.
Yeah.
I'm getting
I mean,
annoyed.
I think Hazuki made a powerful enemy, and you just can't do that in wrestling. Like, it's the one thing you don't do. And Hanan is the future of the company. So if she doesn't
And
like
her
you,
and her two
what are you
sisters
gonna do?
are also the future of the company.
Yes,
Uh,
like you fell out with the most influential family apart from Starlight Man,
if you've ever
and even
wondered
then,
what
Starlight Man
Star
probably doesn't like her either. So
if you ever wondered, yeah, if you ever wondered what like Stardom's 5-year plan is, 10-year plan is even, it's just the three sisters.
yeah, which is fair and valid.
Can't blame them. All three of them are great. But yeah, this is rough. And this match just made me angry. Because it wasn't even a good match. Like it
Okay.
wasn't like oh
Yeah, no, it
even
was
if
not.
this is good, even if this is good, it's Hazuki's not doing enough. It's like this wasn't good. This wasn't good, and it made me feel the waste of one of their best workers. It's just, yeah,
Yeah.
it was frustrating.
Okay. Mei Sarah and Miyu Amasaki beat Emma Mishima and Hinoka in just under 9 minutes.
This
This was
felt like a
changed. A lot of this was changed
yeah.
from due to injuries. Arena mostly. Um, this might be the first time we've seen Mei and Miyu team up, and they were really good together. Like this,
I
everything they
felt
did
like
was so
I
good.
blinked and I missed it. Like I do not remember this
That's
match one bit.
nasty. No, this was good. I like this. Emma is the truth. But yeah, Miyu and Mei as a team should happen more going forward.
Yeah, I'm shocked it doesn't. Like it feels like
I feel like one of them is usually eating the pin for Kid or Asmi, and then the other one's in a singles or a three-way. So
yeah. Yeah, and so like
yeah.
I quite like this team together. Um it's fun.
Suri had her send-off match when she beat Rani Agami in 13 minutes with a flowing flame. I thought this was very good.
The Ryuin,
S-
flowing
Ryuin.
flame, the fuck out here.
Suri went to a lot of lengths to put Rana over in defeat, and I thought Rana stood up tall and really met them. This was like the most aggressive she's ever been in a
Mm.
match. And Suri really had some of that old energy that she's kind of lost over time. She was like, you know what? If I'm going out, I'm making sure you remember. She was putting the beating on Rana. Stylistically, they work, but I do think the weight of the match added a lot to it, and I thought Rana really made sure she looked like a real winner, even though she lost.
I just realized something about the Marigold presser we're gonna have to talk about. That's
Which
crazy.
is
Yeah, we'll get there.
okay.
Um, yeah, Rana and Shuri. I thought this was a very good match. Um, though it wasn't like I thought it was like I thought the vibe behind it did carry a lot of it because while Rana did look good, I did feel like Shuri was kind of like, okay, let's just get in and out. Let's
Mm,
like I didn't feel like Shuri was particularly energized here, but even an unenergized Shuri is still very good. And Rana did her best, and there was that kind of like vibe of like we need to, like this is the send off. We gotta do this. Um, so I did like it, even though I think I was lower than a few other people. I think I was lower than like the big Shuri fans because obviously big Shuri fans love
yeah.
a good Shuri singles match. Um, but I did think it was a fitting send off, and it did make Rana look better going into the 5-star, which she kind of needed. I feel like Rana's cooled off
Hmm.
since her tournament last year, which was kind of her big coming out party, where she outworked the current World of Stardom Champion and whatnot. So
Course.
yeah,
Um.
she also
Well.
outworked like her most of her block. Like let's
Yeah.
not
No,
be
that's
mistaken.
fair.
She outworked Hanan, so it's
Big
not like
time.
I'm just saying.
Rana rocks.
Yeah,
Um. All right. Then we then got on to the Future of Stardom Championship. Hina defending against Akira in 13 and a half minutes with a mud splash. I really liked what Akira showed here. Just so much
yeah.
confidence and intensity, and like really rallied the crowd behind her. The way Hina was just relentless on offense, and Akira just refused to go down, and the way she was like putting everything into her forearms Like these weren't just your standard bog, I'm gonna hit you and you're gonna hit me forearm exchanges. It was like, no, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna make sure I get you. I have to get you. Like I thought she put so much into it that you don't normally see from Stardom. And I thought, the fact that they got the crowd so far behind Akira was a real sign of success.
Yeah, I think I said it last week that this match was going to tell me a lot about Akira, and it did. I really liked this. I thought Akira did very well, and she showed me what I needed to see. So,
We win.
fuck you for thinking that
Akira
I
Army. We
wouldn't.
won.
I wasn't anti Akira. I just thought that she wasn't doing
Akira
enough.
Army. We won.
Akira. But I no, I feel like I just felt like she wasn't doing enough, like just like physically. She was kind of aura farming there for a bit, and it felt like she wasn't doing anything of actual substance. This match had substance to it, and that's what I wanted, and she did well. And I quite enjoyed it. A lot of it I did enjoy because I'm really loving Hina's work right now. Um, like I just think she's pretty baller, and she's really like elevating the belt more than like any individual champion is right now, like in wrestling. It feels like she's really like this is a belt that I want to be synonymous with me. This is a belt that I take fucking I take um great pride in, and this is like something that I need. Like she just really feels like a champion more than most champions in wrestling right now. And that I just appreciate that so much. I think that this match was benefited greatly from Hina being, such a strong champion that really like cared and wanted to test uh Akira. And yeah, I just thought it was a super fun match in general.
All right, I agree.
I was happy with
Um,
both performances.
yeah, no, I thought it was a real standout for Akira. But again, we've been very, I don't know, I can't remember the word. We've heaped praise on Hina as well,
Yeah.
so I think everybody knows we like her. Sayaka Kurara came into the ring to challenge after. I can't remember if she's challenged for this belt, but I do
Yeah,
like that
she
her
challenged
strategy is
Reno.
just I am. Oh yes, yeah. I feel like that her strategy
She's
is
gonna
just I'm
challenge
gonna
Ryu.
keep challenging for belts until I win, because she obviously lost for the world title a month ago, and has lost for this belt. Has not been tag champion yet or new blood tag champion, but it's just like I'm gonna keep challenging for the future. I'm gonna win it eventually. Hina was not too happy with it. She was like, "You sure? Like you didn't really make much of an impression. Like you're
Didn't you
Cinderella."
win didn't you win the Cinderella? What are you
Yeah, she
doing?
was like, "You tried for the red belt, but I don't think you really want this. Like, are you sure?" So that was nice. Hina is protective of her belt, but yeah, that was how they
Oh yeah,
set up the match.
Sakura challenged both Miyu and Reno,
Yeah, okay. I was like, I know
I
she's
think.
definitely challenged a
Yeah.
couple times, but I wasn't sure who. But anyway, we then got on to our main event. This was a reshaped match because of Rena's injury. The Artists of Stardom title match that was meant to happen was called off, and it was changed into a 6-on-6. Hanan, Saida, Natsupoi, Anou, Azumi, and Starlight Kid beat Saya Kamatani, Natsuko Tora, Momo Wanabe, Konami, Rocca, and Fukigen Death in 20 minutes when Natsupoi pinned Saya with the Ferial Ring.
The
Very,
fairying
very
ring?
good match. The ferrying, yeah, I can't remember. Something ring, fairy ring, or some sort. But I thought it was a very good match. I thought the Wingori BMI 2000 stuff was good, and then Saya and Natsupoi got in and just went absolutely ballistic. This was like some of the most exciting stuff Stardom has done since the Tam Saya Corkin, I think, or maybe even the Anou Tam Corkin. Like they were just putting some real heat on their strikes, and I thought the actual wrestling they did around that was very good. I think Natsupoi hasn't felt like this in a long, long time. Like her white belt run was so underwhelming compared to what she was. This is the Natsupoi who had the SAREEE match. Like that's where we're back to now. And
Mhm.
I think this version of her versus Saya Kamatani could get legitimate greatness at Sapporo.
I mean, you gotta remember, Saya Kamitani and Natsupoi had one of the best matches of 2022.
That's
Um,
true.
during a clap crowd era, like, and that match holds up. Last time I watched it, it's been a while, but like that match holds up. Um, it was great, and these two do work well together. They've worked better than Sai and Tam historically. Like that was a take that was not insane until this year when everybody decided they love Sai versus Tam. We're kind of forced to love Sai versus Tam that ran 3 times, but I digress. Um, I think Natsupoi and Sai Kamitani have insane chemistry together, and I am excited for that match. I thought this match specifically, Natsupoi in it was very very good. I didn't think that like anything else was particularly notable, particularly notable. um,
Out there.
like you said, I thought that BMI 2000 and Wingori did some all right stuff that kind of came and went. But yeah, I mean, like Natsupoi really stole the show here. And I think that was important to do for them because, like I've said, I've been a bit hesitant about this match as a pre 5 star because Natsupoi fans don't really like it because this means Natsupoi ain't winning the 5 star. Um, and I don't particularly like it because this means that we're just kind of like treading water until the 5 star actually happens. Um, And I felt like they should have ran this earlier. They should have ran this at like this Korakuen. I would have liked that. But I also get, not doing every time. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I'm excited for the match. This match got me more excited for the match. Because yeah, Natsupoi is operating outside of her fucking mind right now. And I think she will be a great baby face for Sai Kamitani to face off against.
Yeah, she's giving big ace energy. Even her promo was like, "I'm gonna take the belt from you.
I don't
I'm
know
ready to become the
about
light
that.
that shines on everyone."
Mm.
That is what Tam said last year before winning the belt. That is the kind of shit she was saying before dumping
Wait, what
Natsupoi
am
on
I
her
talking about?
dome.
Natsupoi might just lose this match and then win the 5 star and win the belt.
That's
Like,
what I'm telling you.
they
Ano
just do shit
turns,
like that.
Natsupoi gets her revenge, then challenges Kamatani, and that's your 6 months filled, and you have this new Uber
What's what's
babyface.
what's Natsupoi's path? She has to get in over Azumi and Kid.
That's easy enough.
Yeah, yeah, it's not hard.
And
Uh,
Ano was on the red side, so they could do
no,
Ano.
Ano's on the blue side,
Yeah, sorry,
so
the
it
blue
would be
side. So they could do an
the
Ano
final could
Natsupoi
be.
final.
Oh my God, they're so
Because
fuck. If
last year,
oh my
that's what
God,
they did too.
oh my
Kamatani cost
God.
Micah, and then they wrestled in the 5-star final. That would be so funny if they did that 2 years in a
Dude,
row.
if we
Imagine.
have Tam lore, we have Cosmic Angels lore
This
is the only
promotion
thing
is
that fucking
Tamlor.
matters.
I'm so
Dude,
glad
half of these
Tamlor is
factions
back and
don't
carrying the
exist.
company, dude.
Half of these factions
Tamlor is
don't
back.
even exist
They do.
anymore.
Well, that's fine. We got
EXP
lore.
is not a thing,
We have
but
lore.
Cosmic Angels might just take like it just we might still be here. Um, I don't think Ano's turning.
I mean, I just think it would be
Um,
funny.
if but I could see Babyface Ano versus Babyface Poi in the final of the tournament. If Poi wasn't challenging here, I think that would be a legitimate. If both Poi and Ano weren't challenging for the top belts at Sapporo, I think that a Natsupoi versus Ano final would make so much sense. But because
Yeah,
they are, it feels like that probably shouldn't be what they do. Doesn't mean they won't. You never
suppose.
know with these people. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for the match. That's
Yeah.
what I was gonna say. Didn't think this match was like anything crazy, and you were talking it the fuck up, and I was like, what are you like? It was good. Like I don't like it was 12 people, and like 3 of them did good shit. Uh, what do you what what like all right. Um, but yeah, no, I'm excited for that title match. I'm hoping for the best there.
Yeah. All right. I'm just checking the backstage comments for anything, because there was a little bit that was said, but I don't know if anything was of importance. They did address the Ano and Kid aspect of it in the post match here.
Mhm.
So that was one of our first glimpses of the Ano what didn't feel worthy thing.
It's
Um,
funny. I was going to say oh, what was the world champion doing last year in the tournament? Like how did that go? And I remember Natsuko didn't.
And that's cool, isn't it?
and then she just lost
Yeah.
on the final date. Because yeah, I am interested in, again, this will all be talked about in a later date. I am interested in if Sai Kamatani, like, she has to go through to the final stage, but I also don't know how that outcome
Kamatani
will
is
play out.
very pinnable
Yeah.
though. Like you can fully just
Yeah.
not have her go through.
No, I feel like she'll go through and then she'll get pinned like in the first round. You know what I
Awesome.
mean? Like I think that's just kind of what they'll run with. Um,
Um,
yeah, we'll see.
Speaking of Kamatani, she is involved in our match to discuss on SAREEE-ISM
Mhm.
Chapter 8. It is Takumi Iroha and SAREE, also known as Spark Rush, and they take on Natsuko Tora and Saya Kamatani
Wait,
in the
what day
main
is this
event
happening?
Monday.
Okay, I was gonna say, are we having a Marigold versus World of Stardom Champion match? But no, it's 2 days early. If
Yeah.
that does happen.
Um, so this is very interesting, and I think
Mhm.
Sari and Saya is a meeting of the IWGP and Red Belt champions. Also, Takumi and Sari have a lot of titles between them. This is going to be interesting because Hate as an away game has been one of the best things about indie dates. Like whenever they show up in Seedling, it is an absolute hoot. Like whenever Kamatani takes on wave wrestlers, like the amount of heat they get from the fan base is crazy. So I can just imagine like a raucous, Sari heavy crowd booing the shit out of Tora and Kamatani, and we just get greatness in this. And I think it's an easy win for Sari and Aroha. I think Sari can win and pin Tora and continue her like, "Hey, Sai, you're a farce. Like, you're not a real wrestler like me." Stuff. But I'm fascinated by how this goes. Like, I think this could be insanely good.
Yeah, no, I mean, it has a pretty high floor, I would say. Like it'll be hard to for this to be like demonstrably bad or anything, or even like subpar, because I think Spark Rush is in such great form. Sai Kamatani is in good form, and like you said, away game. Natsuko, Ruaka, especially Rina, those three especially, is always good. Pretty much like they
Hmm.
always have a certain flair to them. So I do think this will be a good match, and I'm quite excited for it. I'm fascinated by like just like the implications because obviously Sairi's kind of been like, you know what, fuck Sai Kamatani. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you.
Yeah,
And it's like I'm interested to see if like that has any legs to it, or if that's just Sairi being Sairi. Could be either or both. Who knows? Um, but yeah, I'm interested to see if this has any like lasting effects past this, or if this has any implications
yeah.
past it, because that'd be cool.
All right. There's other Stardom
We
wrestlers
could,
on
I mean,
here.
we are getting Sairi is facing multiple members of Hate in the tournament in key
Yeah,
matches in
I mean, I
Tokyo.
think there's a chance she's a challenger later in the year, but I don't know for sure if they do that. They might.
Well, no, but my point is just that like I think we could be seeing like a Sairi versus Hate thing. Oh,
That'd be sick.
oh fuck! This helps your case about Ano turning, because Sairi can come to the aid of Natsupoi.
Hell yeah. Telling you, it's gonna happen. Um, Other Stardom wrestlers on the show, Natsupoi is taking on Miku Kanai. That was a match that was meant to happen on the last show, I think, and Natsupoi had to pull out, but
Yep.
they're running it now. They also added Yumiko Hoda and Kyoto Ito versus Aya Sakura and Rian. So that's fun. It's gonna that's happening.
Wait, who in Kyoito?
Yumiko Hoda.
Ooh,
Yeah.
homegirl's getting cooked.
Yeah.
They're
The
gonna
oldest,
die.
meanest ladies they could find against Aya and Rian. Crazy. Of
Aya and Hoda minutes, I fuck with that.
course you do. But that is all for Stardom, as far as I'm aware. We will be back next week to review stuff and preview the bigger shows because I think those are the next week. I actually don't know for certain. Let's see. Next week would be 15th. So
20.
yeah,
Yeah,
we'd have Sapporo. We would be previewing Sapporo next week and reviewing the SAREEE-ISM
and then in
match
2
with
weeks we're
the
we're previewing the first weekend of 5-star. Oh boy.
Yeah, crazy world. All right, that is that for Stardom. We are on to Marigold. I don't think there's been any news in Marigold. I know there was this Caban stuff, but we kind of guessed that last week because it was obvious why.
Yeah, Misa seemed like she had a good time.
Yeah.
I saw like half of the Rhea versus uh Tomoki Inaba match. Looked good.
Yes.
You
No,
know, like
Azusa.
good for. No, Azusa teamed with Misa. Rhea faced Tomoka.
Oh, I forgot. Stray Cat. Yeah.
Yeah, Stray Cat, who is unfortunately more popular than Tomoki Inaba. Um,
Yes.
like she is over with the
They
fucking
also
Stray
did
peeps.
Victoria Yuzuki and Natsuki Tayo minutes, and that is insane
Yeah,
to think about.
I mean, I brought it up.
Yeah.
I brought it up to Scott, I think, where it's like they kind of. I haven't seen it. Obviously, the show didn't make air, but and apparently it was kind of a mess. But they kind of struck gold, and like you would think there might be a ball nowhere backstage, because they kind
No.
of struck gold with Yuzuki and Nakajima, because Nakajima has all of the vibes, but she's working at like 4 out of 10 because she's retired,
Yeah.
obviously. But Yuzuki, she's like her floor is like 7 out of 10 effort. Like she
Yeah.
can't give any less than that. So like having the two of them like kind of be able to like lean on each other works. Uh,
Yes.
and yeah, that's it. It seemed cool. I'm a Skaban like apologist ultimately. Like I really think that like some of the stuff is like cool concepts and stuff. Like
No.
I don't mind it.
I
Um,
hate it. I know it's
yeah, I know
bad,
you do.
but I
You're a
genuinely hate it.
no good Jim Cornette esque purist, uh, who
I,
hates anything.
I don't. I
Um,
don't think that's. I think that's very true.
no, I
Caban
don't.
is
I don't
weird.
either.
I think it's
Uh,
intentionally weird. I think it's playing to a very weird crowd, and
I think you just
we
think
should reject it wholeheartedly.
no, I don't
The
know. I think
stray cat photo book photography thing they did was awful, and I need that purged from my memory. So
I think
it had her standing on a man with like no clothes on. Like, what am
that
I
was
supposed to
weird.
think?
That
It's
was
like that's
weird.
the promotion. That is the point of the promotion. That is its audience. That is its
I don't think
demographic.
that's the point of
Is
the
weird
uh
freaks,
we watch
and
wrestling,
there
okay? That's where
and
I'm at. We watch wrestling.
there are much weirder
I've
freaks.
watched 1100 wrestling matches this year,
There's
Alex.
like
I'm the fucking freak.
no offense
We're
to
like
them, but
we are
there
the
are much weirder
freaks.
freaks. No, there are much
I
weirder
mean, we
freaks.
aren't those freaks,
Like,
I get what you mean.
yeah,
But
like there are worse.
I just don't think it matters, man.
I do.
I like I
I don't like the promotion. That gives me bad vibes. Anyway, in terms of Marigold news, they announced the comeback match for Mio Momono. It is Mio and Sora, I think, against Mirai and Kazuna. So that's fun. Oh, Dylan's gone though. Yeah. They also announced the first 4 matches for the Korakuen. I think we're gonna preview the Korakuen actually. I can't remember because if we did it next week, it would be the day before. So we're probably gonna preview these 4 matches actually. So we're just gonna go straight into the review instead, and we'll preview those 4 later, and also try and preview the Face show, which is this weekend. The first Marigold show to review was Marigold First Anniversary Series Burning Desire Day 10. This is in the Westa Kawagoe in front of 488 fans, a sellout number, according to Marigold and Rossi. And they opened with Naoshikawa beating Hummingbird and Megaton in 10 minutes. We had Adventurer Naoshikawa, who was bird watching apparently, and this gimmick disappeared the very next day. But she was an adventurer, and it was a comedy heavy match, as you can imagine, with a bird, a adventurer, and whatever Megaton is supposed to be. And I think they
I
had. You all right?
oh yeah, what did I miss? I know you just
I
like you just I stop when you leave so you can cut it out. You just keep going.
Oh yeah. Well,
You truck
I
forward.
don't. I never know how long you're gonna be gone. Sometimes it's very brief, but I just talked about the marvelous Mio return match,
Woo!
and
Let's go.
yeah,
Fuck yeah.
and
Excited for
now
that
I'm
match.
discussing the opener for this one.
Right.
They did comedy, and it was funny comedy. Like I liked what Now was doing, and like she had like both of them in headlocks at one point, and it was
Did she
funny.
have Fireball in her pocket?
Yeah, yeah, they like kicked her, and she had like stuff that was hard in her pockets, and the referee had to like parade it around. It was funny. I will give them that. Like the Megaton and Now trading chops and blocking it consistently was fun. But 10 minutes of comedy, like they did not have 10 minutes of
It was
comedy in there.
very long.
It got to the point where they were trying to repeat the laughs, and people were just like, "No,
Uh,
no, I'm
uh,
not. It's not funny." And then Hummingbird was just like, "You know what? Sure, man." She was just selling and stooging and barely even trying because they were just being goofballs. So yeah, I think they
dude,
had something funny, but they just tried to
yeah.
make it last too long.
No, I agree. And it was to the detriment of pretty much everybody in the match. Like I felt
Yeah.
like by the end I was like, but Megaton throwing up the throwing up the moonsault taunt over and over again. Great bit. I don't care. She could do that
That's her
20
new
times in a match, and I am here
that's
for
her
it.
new thing. And she
That's
did it
so
at the end of
funny.
the match. She did it, and she just jumped off and then hit her
And then like
press like
yeah, just like
normal.
no, she like jumped down and then just like jumped backwards into it, and it was just oh man, the least athletic thing I've ever seen. It's
She's
so good.
incredible.
It
And,
like that is maybe my favorite Megaton bit. Is
it's
is her
fantastic.
throwing it up. It's like I'm doing it. I'm fucking.
The day she does it, I will pop like crazy.
Oh my
She's
god,
gonna
yeah.
do it eventually. I will lose my mind. Yeah, now Ishikawa stole the win then and, emerged victorious over the bird. Um, we had Amira and Johnny Robbie take on Koki Amare and Minami Yuki, and the Amira and Johnny won in 10 minutes. Yeah, one thing we forgot about foreign imports doing tours
'Cause they do
is
not
the
click with some wrestlers like
some of
at
the
all.
native wrestlers do not. I remember Arisa Hoshiki having some of the worst matches ever with white women, and it was like, "You are awesome. What is happening?" But Koki has that too. She was so clunky in this, and Yuki wasn't very good either. Like I felt for Johnny Robbie. She was doing her absolute best to keep this on track, but it wasn't happening.
Yeah, it was whatever. I mean, like I thought it wasn't good, but Yuka Minami did fine in the closing
Kind of.
stretch. Like that was kind of like the, well, whatever. But
Yeah.
otherwise, yeah, the match wasn't particularly good.
Seri Amioka and Yuka Yamazaki beat Kazuna Tanaka and Komomo Manami in 10 minutes. Seri got the win for her team, of course, over Komomo. Um, there was a very clear like difference in it. So Seri was just dog walking both Kazuna and Komomo, and then she would
Mhm.
tag out to Yuka, and Kazuna and Komomo would be like, "All right, it's our time to bully now." So there was a very clear mix of the team there a little bit, so where Seri was kind of just full on the wrecking ball of the two. Um, but yeah, the fact that they're protecting Yuka over Komomo Minami already is insane, and Kazuna as well. So a lot to read into, I think, based on this on the next day. But yeah, for now, I thought this was a good match.
Yeah, I liked it. Everybody's good.
Yeah,
But one
that's
thing I
really
did like especially was Sari. She was kind of spamming them drop kicks.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the big,
She do be. She's been doing that.
the big like shotgun drop kicks.
Mm.
And then Komomo was like, you know what? Fuck this. And she hit her own big like Sari style dropkick, and I jumped out of my chair. I was so excited. I
Love
was like,
Komomo.
"Fuck it!"
She's great.
Koman was so good. Love her. Loved her in this match. Loved her in the next match. She was in really good stuff.
All right. Chiaki and Nagisa Nozaki wrestled to a 15-minute time limit draw with Mai Sakurai and Mirai. This is pretty good. I think
Yeah.
Nozaki over the past week has been like, "Hey, listen, guys, I can still show up to work." And she was very good in this match. I thought Chiaki picked her spots fairly well.
I love Chiaki and Mirai. Like I think they're such a
Yeah.
great pairing. I really hope they run that into the Dream Star. I think that could
Mm.
be like a big match for Chiaki. They let it be. Um, Maybe even Chiaki gets the upset if there is a new member and they're cheating big time during it. I think you can easily run Chiaki over Mirai in like a big shock and, kind of stifle Mirai from getting to
Yeah.
the final, or maybe not prevent, but, be a roadblock. I just think Chiaki and Mirai just click so well together.
Hmm.
And that was my favorite part of this match, even though it did go 15, so it kind of lost it for a couple minutes there. Not in the middle, but for a couple minutes, it was just kind of like, okay, let's get to the next bunch of spots or whatever. Um, Even though that did happen, I still thought this match was quite good, and like I said, love Mirai and Chiaki together. Also, Darkest Revolution just loves like tormenting Mirai. Like
Yeah.
they keep getting her on like roller carts and just like fucking rolling her into shit. This has happened
Yeah.
like 3 times now.
They do be terrorizing. It was after this match that Chiaki got on the microphone and said, "Hey, we have a big change coming on the 12th. We're gonna do some stuff." So that was intriguing, and we're gonna try and preview what that intriguing thing is. But then our main event was Mayu Iwatani and Miko Aono beating Chika Goto and Utami Hayashishita in 14.5 minutes in Miko Aono's homecoming main event. This was a great match, a
Mhm.
very, very high end tag match. Mayu was putting the beating on Chika Goto. She was merciless with Chika. And, Iono and Utami took over for a bit there. And you guys know by now, Iono and Utami, they're going to deliver. Like everything was just so good, but Chika Goto again just does what needs to be done in these tag matches, like whether that's rest working on top or whether it's getting her shit rocked by Mayu or whether it's going 50-50 with Koki. Like she's gonna do it and she's gonna make it work. And yeah, this is just really, really good.
Yeah, I agree. I just love Chikagoto these days. She's so much fun. I think she works super well with Miku and Mayu. And then Utami obviously works super well with Miku and Mayu as well. I mean, like I think Miku said on Instagram that she chose this match specifically.
Yeah.
Um, and damn, does she know what she's doing? Because like all four of these people just like they just click super well. Even though like Chika and Utami aren't even like particularly like tag partners. Like they aren't like frequent tag partners or anything like that. They still work very well together. Um Everybody on this roster at this point kind of works well together if we're being honest. But I just thought that this was such a match made in heaven. And by heaven I mean Miko Ano's brain, I guess. But yeah, really good stuff. Really good for a homecoming show. I think that's what you want. I think Miku got what she wanted here. Very good match. Team with Mayu. Send the crowd home happy with the Mayu promo
Mm.
to close things out.
Konbanwa.
Mayu and Miku. Yeah, and all that. Uh, I was happy with it. Really, really liked it.
Yeah. And then we got on to our next show, which was on the 6th of July. This is in the Nagata Higashi Ward Plaza. We don't have a number for this, but Rossi did tweet out that this
It
show
was
marked
sold
the
out.
fifth consecutive sellout for them, and he even admit that like tickets weren't selling that great for parts of the last year, and he was very happy with how things were going. So very good. The opener was Amira beating Hummingbird in 8 minutes. This was solid. Amira is very kind of a Swiss Army knife type of wrestler. I feel like she just does her job whenever she's asked, and kind of
Her
worked with Hummingbird.
selling is a bit lacking.
Yeah,
Hummingbird got her in a submission, and I was like, "Oh, she's not, she's not taking this one well." But
yeah,
otherwise, like all of her offensive stuff is really good. Um, so like that kind of makes up for what she lacks for now. Um, yeah, no, I thought this was a solid enough match.
yeah. We got on to Johnny Robbie beating Nao Ishikawa in 7 minutes. I quite enjoyed this. I thought
As
Nao
did I. I
was a
really
good
like this.
base for Johnny. Like I thought Nao just let Johnny do all of her cool stuff, and it worked really well. And Nao picked her spots to get back in. Like, the fact this
Now
was
really
second from the
is
card. This was
like an.
second from the bottom, and the
Sorry, go
crowd
ahead.
was chanting for Nao. Like that was how much she got them into it.
I know this has like obviously been kind of like said to death, but now really is a uh like early era Stardom Tam Nakano. Um,
Yeah.
because Tam notoriously was like shockingly good against foreigners. Uh, I remember she was the only. I had to watch this for a punishment. She was the only one who could like get something not terrible out of Britt Baker. Because I watched Britt's 3 matches in Stardom. They were terrible. But the best one was the Tam Nakano singles because Tam just kind of had a way of working with foreigners. Same thing with like Piper. She's always good with Piper, um, and a lot of foreigners like that. So I mean, B and Jamie is a famous one. That was a great tag match with Risa. Uh, so I do think now in this match kind of showed me that it's like she gets foreigner matches. Like Koki didn't. Koki does
Yeah.
not get how to wrestle foreigners, but now clearly does. So yeah, now continues to remind me of a young Tam Nakano.
All right. Um,
Younger Tam Nakano, I guess.
yeah. Um, I hope they run that back actually, Johnny and
Be fun.
now. They
I'd be
could
down.
do it for the West Coast belt or something on a Marvelous or yeah, Marvelous show, or even at a Korakuen. Just like I think they'd make it work. Um, Darkness Revolution, Chiaki Nagisa Nozaki beat Kazuna Tanaka and Megaton in 10 minutes. This is our first, one of our first times with Megaton coming up against Chiaki and Nagisa since being kicked out, and she continued to just be an absolute icon. She did the moonsault thing again, and she kept being like, "Nozaki, lay there, lay down, like lie down, let me do it, let me do the move." And so Chiaki was just sat, or Nozaki was just sat on the ground, being like, "Are you gonna do it?" And Chiaki just like stood watching as the crowd chanted for Megaton, and Chiaki was like, "Do it, go on, do it." And she eventually jumped down and didn't do it, sadly. But the fact that we are now working the moonsault tease into Megaton's rotation, she
Love it.
is the greatest mind since Sakura Hirota. I'm not afraid to say it anymore. Hirota was able to layer her bits. Megaton is also able to layer her bits. The true great comedy wrestlers know how to just add layers onto what they're doing instead of becoming one note. And Megaton has just continued to like progress and advance while staying really bad at wrestling in kayfabe, but she's advancing still and changing up how she does it. And it's so interesting and it's so funny. I'm just always wondering what she's going to do next. And it was so fun to see Nozaki and Chaki just be like, go on then, hit the moonsault. Go on, do it. It was so fun. So yeah, that was the highlight of the match, to say the least.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch this one, unfortunately. But I
That's a real
do
shame.
I do love the every time I say the and then like get quiet, I'm doing the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
Where
get
I'm,
that.
I'm signaling for the moonsault
That's good.
because I just
You
love
should
that so
watch
much.
just that bit. I think you would love Chiaki
Yeah.
because she's literally just like leaning on the rope, being like, "Go on." I don't think you'll
I
do it.
am
Go
begging you
ahead.
to hit a moonsault right now.
Yeah,
I am
like
begging you to
she
do that.
was so
I
not.
don't care
She
if we
could have
lose. Do the
stopped her
moonsault.
at any point. Yeah, she could have like interfered, done a tag move, whatever. But she was like, "I'm as interested as
See,
anyone.
that's
Do
that's
it."
my type of wrestler. Someone
Yeah,
who's like, I want to win, but hold on a second. Let's see this shit. I want to see you do it. I want to see you fucking do it.
I love it. Our next match is Chika Goto and SAREEE Mioka going to a 15-minute TLD with Koki and Miku Aono. This is a good match. There wasn't a lot of Miku, but when she was in there, she was throwing those gunshot kicks at Chica. Oh, that's the thing about Johnny Robbie as well. She doesn't wear kick pads, so when she was kicking now, it was literally just a thud of like
Yeah,
skin on skin.
Shin. Yeah,
I was like, ow. So yeah, please don't do that to people, Johnny.
that was
But
that was when before Shino debuted because she was wearing boots in that Julia thing, or not?
yes,
She was wearing shoes like sneakers, and she was kicking her. And I was like,
yeah,
oh no,
yeah.
because it was just like shin on chest, like nastiness.
It's fun. But yeah, the when Aono was in here, she did good. But I actually thought
Yeah.
this was one of the better Goto Koki sequences. I think they went back to what works, like the big boots, and I think the exchanges just kind of worked. So I thought by the end, like Koki had a rough start, but I thought by the end she had a pretty good showing against Chica.
I'm
So
excited to see what Koki can cook up in the Dream Star because like it could be bad, but
mm,
I also think that there is a chance for her to just like kind of be like, yeah, I'm not a bad wrestler. I don't know if you guys like, I'm pretty good.
yeah,
Like, cause that's what she did last year. She was like, yeah, I have a good tournament, pretty
yeah,
good. But yeah, so I'm hoping she kind of can uh build up that momentum because it feels like she is. It feels like she's getting better in most matches outside of that Johnny Robbie Amira match. It feels like Koki's like steadily becoming more solidified again,
Yeah,
and more, you know,
I guess.
equipped.
I
Yeah,
won't go that far yet, but
yeah, all
I do
right.
think she's not as bad as she was. Our main event was Komomo Manami, Mayu Utani, and Utami Hayashishita beating Mai Sakurai, Mirai, and Yuka Yamazaki in 13.5 minutes. This is another good Marigold main event. They did Utami versus Yuka for the finishing stretch. So
Mhm.
if you know
Yeah,
anything
I
about
like.
them, you kind of know how it goes. And yeah, I mean Mayu like was briefly in. She did some stuff with Mirai, did a little bit with Yuka. You know, it was a main event for a show that is outside Tokyo, basically.
Yeah, I had fun with it. The best part was the backstage comments, I'm afraid. Um,
Yeah,
love
you're gonna
Komomo.
have to go into it. My voice is tired.
Yeah, so Mayu, Tommy, and Komomo won, and then they go backstage and they're doing their comments, and Komomo's talking, or first Utami calls herself old, because she's like, yeah, I've been seeing like Komomo and Yuka and Sari and Mizuki and all these youngins. They're all doing so well. They make me feel like an old lady. And Mayu's like, if you're an old lady, I'm the fucking oldest bitch of all time. Goddamn. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're 26. Um, and then Komomo's like, yeah, well, they're gonna be competing in the 5 star. And then Tommy's like, what do you say? And Mayu's like Mayu was not listening. And then Tommy's like, "You mean the Dream Star, right?" And Maya's like, "Ah!" And she like tries to leave. And then she's like, "I can't be in the same picture." And then she comes back. She's like, "Okay, okay, it's fine." And then Kuma was like, "As I was saying, the 5 star." And then they're like, "No, we're done. We're done. We're leaving." And
That's
Kuma
crazy.
just stands there like, "Oh no, I fucked up. I fucked up." And then she just looks at the camera. She's like,
She has to
"The
compose herself for a
Dream
second. Uh,
Star is coming up." And she finishes her statement, and everybody's like, and Utami was like, "Ah, it happens to the best of us, kid." Like on Twitter, she was like, "We had to dip, but it happened."
Incredible.
Which, if you remember, first person to ever fuck up the names was Utami Hayashishita.
Yeah.
After the first main event, she's like, "We're cooking in Stardom. We're about to cook," and then Julie's like, "Hey, mm."
I mean,
So,
I'm mostly surprised it doesn't happen more because like even we do it. The
oh
the
yeah,
name and everything are so similar. Um, and there's obviously so many ties to Stardom. It's so easy to just be like, oh yeah, this is a Stardom thing. It's like, nope, no, wrong company. Um,
I mean, we did it when we were scheduling the 2 tournament previews today, like an hour and a
yeah,
half ago, 2 hours ago.
yes,
We were like, "Okay, we're doing the dream stuff. We're doing the wait, but then this ag-" and we just yeah, it's
yeah.
it's a bit difficult.
Um, so we have two shows, well, 1.5 shows to preview. The first is on the 12th of July. It's the first anniversary series, Marigold Burning Desire in Shinkiba First Ring. They open with Megaton versus Hummingbird. That'll be interesting. Um, Kazuna Tanaka takes on Nao Ishikawa and Komomo Minami. I'm gonna assume Kazuna wins because she's the one in the GP.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Mayu Utani and Koki. I think it's a first time ever team. They
No,
take on.
that's Monday Magic.
What did they team up Monday Magic?
That was
Oh
the
yeah, they
first
did. Yeah, I
Monday
forgot.
Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The Monday Magic crew take on Go Momo. No, not Go Momo. It's Minami Yuki and Chikugoto.
Yeah, no, that's not what they're called. Um,
I mean, we know
but
who's
yeah,
winning
that's
that one.
oh, they have a team name.
They do, and I just can never remember it.
Yeah.
Kochika. I thought it was Kochika, but that's her thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out someday.
Yeah. Um, Utami Hayashishita, Mirai, and Seri Yamaoka take on Mai Sakurai, Chanyota, and Yuka Yamazaki. That is nuts. Somebody pins Yuka.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so this kind of is where the idea that Yuka might be the one turning
Mm-hmm.
uh to join Darkest Revolution kind of stems from is that it's possible that she gets paired off with Mirai at the end, and this is
Yep.
kind of like like my current like, oh, this is the most likely, even though I think
Mhm.
it could be something completely different. It could be Yuka pairing off with Mirai in the end, Mirai winning, Yuka or Mirai trying to like shake her hand, and Yuka just like fucking storming off, pushing her,
Yeah.
whatever. Because obviously Mirai's kind of if Yuka's the mad dog, Mirai's kind of her owner, which sounds weird, but walk with me here. Um, Mirai's kind of like the one that's like reining her in a bit. So I think if Mirai kind of like muddies that bridge, Yuka kind of like wants to separate. They can do that here with the closing stretch, and then you can come in for the main event and be the fourth man of DR.
Yes, that's what I think. Because the main event is set up. It's Misa, Chiaki, and Nozaki against Aono, Yuzuki, and Seto. And I feel like you can definitely cheat on Rei Seto and cost her the match and
Mm,
give it to Darkness Rev, and you'd be fine. Because
yeah,
they
I
have
can.
teased it, and I feel like it has to be a new member. Like it wouldn't just be a rebrand again. And there's nobody that I can see on the free agent scene that would fit. And it's not like I don't think
I mean, it
Arena
could
is
be.
around enough to turn to have it be Arena, like
Well, no,
turning
she's
and joining.
on something.
Somebody else said that, and I was like, I don't see her, but you
Yeah,
know,
me neither. Actually, now
she's
that I'm thinking
around
about, it, I don't know.
maybe.
But
Still no Ryoko as well. She's taking a long break. Her and Nagisa.
to be fair, she's been doing a lot of like modeling stuff.
Yeah.
So like she ain't just sitting at home twiddling her thumbs. Um, but hopefully she's getting better. I miss her. Um, but I think it could be now, like just proper now.
Mm, now
Um,
Ishikawa.
yeah, now Ishikawa. Uh, because
Yeah.
obviously the Gigaton thing, I didn't think had much legs to it, but I can see use in now being there to help out Darkness Revolution. You know what I mean? Like being a member.
I don't know. I
Uh,
mean, her doing the adventure thing for like one show was weird. So maybe she wants to
that's
do
why
that.
no, but that's what I mean. I think her doing the adventure thing for one show and then going back to being normal makes me think that like, oh, they told her, yeah, we're gonna do something. Don't be fucking don't be riffing, okay? we're figuring something out. Stop riffing. Stop doing fucking bits. Stop trying to figure shit out. Just we'll take care of it, okay? Stop. It's possible that was what that was, but I don't necessarily think that's the case. Um, but yeah, I mean, like Yuka and Now are the most likely suspects in the company. Outside of the
Yeah.
company, I mean, yeah, I don't really know who it could be. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I'm expecting it to be another member. Maybe they get a foreigner.
Mm,
Maybe they do a Megan Bain type thing where she debuts right before uh the 5 star and then just isn't in it for some reason, or during the 5 star. I don't remember.
yeah.
But it was that season and she just wasn't in the tournament. And it was like, okay, so you're just kind of around. Maybe they debut a foreigner to join up with them. We'll see. I don't know. That I think Yuka's the most likely, but also it's a bit early for her. Like I feel like
I
they
don't
might
think
want more
so.
time.
I think she's ready. I see the thing with the foreign wrestlers is there's nobody that really jumps out on that aspect, and I don't know if why you debut them as a heel, like cold.
I
Um,
mean, okay, but like for example, I'm not saying this is gonna happen because I doubt it. This isn't really a Rossi move, but like if Lana Cross came in, like if
dude, I
Rossi was
wish.
just like, dude, I do too. But if Rossi was just like, you know what, I want another tall lady. I don't really want to take a risk though. Let's just bring in Lana Cross.
Yeah.
She'd be a perfect fit. I mean, give her and Ozaki the tag belts yesterday. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm at. Um, but so I can see somebody like that, or just somebody that's not really like on the mind sort of thing, but somebody who's like experienced enough and works well enough to kind of slot in, uh, is proven enough to some degree. I could see that, but yeah, I think Yuka is probably the most likely because they do need a pin eater, but they also want somebody that's like good. It's their first
Mm,
faction. They don't want to completely just have it. Like I think that was the problem with Megaton ultimately, was that as funny as she couldn't really get good matches, and like when you're a heel group in this sort of company, you got to be good. Like you can't just
yeah.
you can't you can't rely on shtick that much. You know what I mean? Like that's never been the Rossi playbook. Oedo Tai was never like a heavy shtick group until Bushiroad. You know, and
I completely disagree on that, but that we don't have time for
well, okay,
this.
shtick
So
heavy shtick. It depends on what I mean by shtick, but
Kagetsu and Chris Wolf was all shtick.
it was all shtick. That's true. But I don't think it. But I also think that they were good wrestlers at other times. Like I don't know. It depends
Okay.
on. It doesn't matter. Because yeah, Chris Wolf was a lot of shtick. The more I think about it, she was a lot of shtick.
Yeah, they used to have the
Clever,
tape
but
and everything, or the rubber band thing. Like
they did bits. They did comedy bits. But point
that is
being,
anyway.
you
Never
can't.
mind.
You I just don't think that Darkest Revolution can rely on just like being heels, mwahaha. Uh, so Yuka being added is the perfect way to like add a member who can lose, can be a pin eater, but also is a good wrestler who adds to the group. From
Hmm.
a in-ring standpoint, I think that works. But we can move on.
All right. That is the
Questions?
Shingiba first. We have the first four matches of the Korakuen announced. They were pretty clever here because I thought they would give away what the Darkness Revolution thing was going to be by
Mhm.
announcing the full card, but they did not. They announced four matches. So
Which
we
is
have
enough for me to be like, you know what, fair. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that's like,
like anything after this is going to be like just salad dressing basically.
and it'll be the
Um,
first Darkest Revolution match with X,
yeah,
probably.
yeah.
Unless
So
Chiaki's thing is like, I'm challenging for the Superfly, even though Mayu's already in on the map. It doesn't matter.
Victoria Yuzuki and Seri Yamaoka take on Senka Akatsuki and Sora Ayame. This is Young Marigold versus Young Marvelous. We are going to have Yuzuki and Seri win because they're
Yes,
definitely
100%.
going to pin Sora. I imagine Seri keeps beating Senka until the Grand Prix, and they're going to have Senka go over Seri there. That
It
seems
should.
like
I think
a
that's the
logical thing at
best
this
case
point.
scenario.
That
I
young
like this.
Marigold thing, I would like if they would define who that is because they keep tweeting about it, and I can totally see what they're building with that of like the tier list where Seri and like Yuka and Shino are like the main three, and they're gonna be better than the rest of the people in Young Marigold. But I don't know if it includes Yuzuki or not, and it
It
seems to like depend.
does. I
Because like,
think
what are you defining as
I
Young
think they're
Marigold?
giving
Is it
themselves
everybody?
a lot of leeway
They are.
to decide who they like the
It's
most and who they
Golden
like
Gen
the
2
least.
where they're like, oh yeah, Mariah's
Yeah,
also in it. I
exactly.
was like, no, no.
Exactly. And
Because
and
not
like
my golden gen.
I liked
Hashtag
Mariah,
not
but I
my
was like,
golden gen.
yeah, she ain't in this bitch, the fuck.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, so I
Okay.
think it's just kind of
Whoever.
uh
Whoever
whoever,
Sunny
right?
says.
My
On Twitter.
well the thing was that it's like, okay, it is the four, right? It's Kazuna and Victoria, and then it's Sari and Shino. Those are the four.
And they
But
talked
then
about Yuka as well.
yeah, Yuka debuted after that. So it's like, okay, Yuka's involved. Rhea is kind of, like somebody
Yeah.
that they began to really like this year. Komomo is somebody that the roster loves. That everybody's like she should be like, factored into the future plans. My Sakurai said it outright, but like it's pretty clear that everybody has a soft spot for Komomo.
Hmm.
Um, and then from there, like those are the ones, but then it's like who else kind of like factors into it? You don't really know.
Yeah. I wish
So
they would tell us. Anyway, Mayu Utani and Komomo Minami take on Mio Momono and Ai Hozan. We
this
have
is awesome.
finally got there. We have finally reached Mio Momono taking part in a warfare with the promotion we watch. Her and Mayu going at it is going to be legitimately some of the best shit ever. Um, I'm looking forward to what Ai Hozan does in this. I think she's had a really interesting year. I think Senka passing her up has really lit a fire under her, and I think she's a very key part of this war and can kind of play a cool part in it. So hopefully this ends with either I or Mio beating Komomo. Maybe you do Mayu versus I at face. That would be fun. Let's do it.
Yeah, I don't. I think I think Mayu and Komomo are just beating Ihozan.
I don't know. I think Marvelous has to win one, so
No, I feel like well, first of all, I don't
they're
know if
not
everyone
going
knows.
0-4.
Uh, well, yeah, no, obviously.
They're not winning the
Um,
title.
I don't know
Even
about
I
that.
am
We'll
not
talk
that.
about that.
Even I'm not that like
Uh,
delusional.
but no, my thing is that's like they're already like Marigold's like 3-8 against Marvelous. So
I
like if
suppose.
they win all four, it's like oh they're like more or less even. Like I don't think it's exactly 3-8, but they are closer to one another in overall point wins. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm like I don't think you need to do that. Um, it's possible that Senka beats Sari here and
No.
Sari is chasing Senka in the 5-star or the
No,
Dream
that
Star.
would be silly.
I
It wouldn't really
agree, but
work.
in fact, that would be a very Stardom move
Yes.
to give
Yeah.
away that fall here instead of in the Dream Star when it matters to everybody. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think Mio Momono over Komomo does work well.
Yeah.
Like I think that'd be cool, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Mayu likes winning. I
Sure.
don't know if you've heard.
We have the United National
Shuffleization.
Championship. Mai Sakurai defends against Riko Kawahata.
Oh, this is
They
what I
set
had to
this up
bring up.
pretty easily.
Fucking Rico showed up with a picture of my Sakurai with no eyebrow.
That's crazy.
she, she gave it to me. She's like, "What the fuck is this?" Oh man, I love how that's just part of their gimmick. Is that
Mm.
it's like, well, people won't stop bringing it up. We gotta like not even address it, but it's got like we can't just ignore that they don't have
You know, the
eyebrows.
funny part is it's kind of grown on me.
I don't mind
Like
it. I don't
I
mind
don't
it.
hate it.
Especially not. I think
Also, Mai
Korea.
Sakurai drew eyebrows onto
Yes,
Riko on
yes, they
Twitter.
both.
That was funny.
Yeah, that was the response. Was
Yes.
Sakurai
I
drawing
hate
on
to
her
break this to you, Dylan. The football match I want to watch is about to start. So you
Yes,
want to
I
start
know.
like minimizing these thoughts.
Okay, okay, okay. This match will be probably good. Uh, I think Rico's a better wrestler than Maria, but I think Maria probably stylistically will work better here. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But yeah, I think this will be good. I'm interested to see Rico in a singles heel match because I haven't seen that yet. I love her as a
Yeah.
babyface in singles matches, but I worry about her as a heel
I think
in
it'll
singles
work.
matches. I
And
hope.
Mai will
I
give
hope.
her enough room to make it work. But
Yeah.
the only problem is Mai is definitely winning because Rico
Oh
got
well,
the
yeah.
pin and the twin star. So it's kind of
Yes.
obvious what's happening here. So, we're on to the next one for Mai Sakurai. The main event of the show is a double title match, Marigold and the GHC World Championships. This is a 1 hour time limit. Utami Hayashishita versus Takumi Iroha. I don't know anymore. I thought this was a nailed on 30-minute draw,
No,
and then they did the hour thing, and I don't believe they're ballsy enough to have them go an hour.
there
I
are
don't think
people
you
who are
can
expecting an hour.
realistically
That's
do that.
not happening.
I don't think
Um,
you can, I don't think they could even run that in the venue. Like they would get kicked out of the venue
truthfully,
at a
I
certain
think
point.
they moved it up to an hour, not even because they want to go 40, but because they want people to feel how we feel right now.
Yeah,
Where it's like
sure.
oh, obviously it's gonna go to a draw. It's like nope, not so obvious. If it does go to a draw, that's still a surprise. Like that is
Yeah.
what the fuck are they? Going to
You can do a
going
double
60.
KO. I know
Sound,
Utami has done that before.
but I like that. I like
Yeah,
double KOs. I'm a fan of double
cool.
knockouts. I think that's a good draw. Um, I think Takumi's winning.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I feel like that would mess up everything for the Dream Star. I don't think you can have Iono win the Dream Star at that point. Unless,
Aono and Takumi
well,
were the ones that were
they were, but I don't think
pitted
people would
against
be
each other.
happy with Iono losing that one.
Aono's beating Takumi. What?
She would drop on V1, V2. That would be
It'd
insane.
be V2. Yeah.
I don't know. I think
I think
if
Takumi
she
could
wins, she has to hold it until Mayu. I think Mayu would have to take it
no. No,
because then
she
you
can hold the
get three
GHC.
belts down.
I think Mayu gets the GHC and I don't know
They
gets
split
the
them.
Marigold.
Mm,
Yeah, oh definitely. They're definitely splitting them.
I don't know.
Um
I'm not so sure. Oh,
I think
hold on.
Miku will win the world title from Takumi Iroha. And I think that's the big, you know, finalization of the Marvelous feud. Even if it still like kind of like lingers here and there if they still do a couple uh, you know, cross promotional battles, I think that that's what ends it is Miku dethroning Takumi um, at Autumn Destiny, is it called? I think at the Rigoku show in October. Um, yeah, I think Takumi's winning. I just Takumi, and we've you can look back at history. Takumi is the one that got away from Rossy Ogawa. Um, she is one of his favorite wrestlers that he's ever produced. And it just so happens that she left before she even became like a top wrestler, a super, super great wrestler. She left Stardom to join up with Chigusa. So I think Rossi taking advantage of his freedom, quote unquote freedom, to of not being the top company and being able to kind of uh, be a bit more relaxed and experimental, even though we haven't seen that experimentalism from him much. I think him being able to book Takumi as champion, he'll book Takumi as champion. Like he couldn't book Takumi as champion in Stardom. Like
Yeah.
it wouldn't have worked when she was
I'd be here for it. I
coming
mean,
up.
you know how I feel about Big Boss Iroha,
I
and
mean,
I think
and
her as the invading heel
yeah,
champion would be insane. I
like
just wouldn't want it
I
to end that
truly
quick.
I truly believe that Rossi has always wanted to give a belt to Takumi. Like, I mean,
Oh
she
yeah,
got the fucking artist belt like immediately. You know
he
what I mean?
gave her he debuted her at Sumo Hall against Mako Satomura.
Yeah,
Like
like
she was
like I
his
said,
original SAREEE.
she was his original Utami.
Yeah, that too.
Like that's what this is, you know? That's why he keeps putting them against each other because he's like before Utami was like my third or fourth favorite daughter. Takumi was. And she
Yeah.
left. She's the prodigal daughter of Rossi Ogawa. Um, that's that's the gimmick. So does she get all of the glory as she returns? And now that he finally can, like I don't like this is the first time that I think it wouldn't not make sense to put a Rossi belt on her, like a world title on her. Because with the Mayu stuff, it didn't make sense. With the Utami stuff, the first time it didn't make sense. This makes sense. Now, is it going to happen? I'm not certain. I'm probably like 60 on Takumi, 40 on Utami, retaining. So a draw is also Utami. Uh, I'm like 60-40 on it, but I think this is the first time you can do it. And to your criticism, I could also see Miku not winning the Dream Star. Somebody
That'd be
else winning the
cool,
Dream
yeah.
Star,
Wouldn't
lo-
mind.
facing her at Ryogoku, losing, Takumi losing the bout first string. Also could happen. First, wait, are they doing first string?
I don't know. You've kind of just
Well,
assumed.
yeah, whatever show they do in December or January. Um, I'm going off the assumption that basically the only thing that's changed is they
Yeah,
moved.
the general idea is what?
Yeah, I
3
mean, like
big
they
arena
they
shows? 4?
yeah 3 or 4. That's
3?
what he said.
3?
Uh,
Oh.
and I'm
There's
assuming there's
3
going to
this
be
year,
one
right?
in yeah there are 3 this year.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Unless they do one in
January,
December,
February.
then it's 4.
I
But they
see.
won't do it in December because then it'd be January. Whatever. The next big show will be in the winter. I think that's kind of obvious. I think there will be something happening in the winter because who
Mhm.
doesn't do shit in the winter? Um, and I think she could just lose there to Miku.
Yeah,
Like
I
like
wouldn't mind
Miku
that.
doesn't need to win the Dream Star this year.
That's true. I just don't know who does unless you do Mayu, but I don't know about Mayu winning the Dream Star. Um,
Mayu could, yeah. I don't know about Mayu winning because, like I said,
no.
I think Mayu beats Takumi for the GHC,
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
but I
I
don't think
don't know.
you. I don't think you run the Dream
You
Star.
could they might genuinely do Sari and
Mm,
Takumi main event. No, they won't do Sari. I'm being
That's too
stupid.
soon. They just
I
did
don't
that.
know. See, that's the thing with Roja. I think it's very difficult to get challengers who you're gonna have her beat because
That's
Mirai
kind of
has
the hard part
already
with the
challenged and
with the red
lost.
belt in general. I
It
think
is,
is that
but
it's
like
like
Utami has more logical ones. Like you can run Iono and have Iono win. But if Iono is facing Aroha, she can't win, so you have to push that down
I
a few
think I think
months.
the end goal, quote unquote, of like this next 6 months is Miku wins the belt,
Yeah,
regardless of who wins here. I think the end goal of the next 6 months, whether it's at Autumn Destiny or it's at the next big show in the winter, I
Mhm.
think Miku is walking away from this next 6 months as the world champion. It's just a
Yes.
matter of how we get there.
I just think Utami is the easiest road there. I wouldn't
And I think
hate an
I
Iroha
agree.
win, but I think Utami is just the easiest road to Iono. Unless they wanted to wait, that's fine, but I don't know who
You know
Iroha
what? You
faces
know
at
what?
Sumo Hall, if
You
she
know what
does.
the real answer is, and
What?
you're not gonna be happy about this. Utami loses and goes back to back.
Even Rossi isn't that bad.
Yeah, and the problem with
Even
that is then
no, sorry, I mean,
then
even
then
modern Rossi isn't that bad.
then Utami. I still don't think like that doesn't fix our problem of
No.
Takumi shouldn't drop the
Maybe
belt to the
would it
5-star
be
winner.
too early for would it be too early for Koki? It would definitely be too early for Koki. Or a Chico. Like, I don't know. But then you're giving them the GP, that's the problem.
Well,
I
see,
could
this is
have
the thing.
them you could
This
have
is
them
the thing.
lose to Takumi at Sumo
You
Hall,
can you
but
can
giving them the
run.
tournament and the Sumo Hall is a lot. There's a
See,
very small number of people who can do
the
both.
beautiful thing is that we're kind of forgetting is that there is no Cinderella tournament in this company. So the GP could easily go to a white belt
I don't know if
because
you
there is nothing
use
that goes to the white belt.
see, I think Mariah is probably be winning the white belt though. And I don't know if
Then
Mariah
Mirai 5 or Mirai Dreamstar, baby. That's what it's all
I don't
fucking
know.
about,
It
baby.
would be
Let's
a weird
go.
use of it
Let's
would be a
go.
weird use of a Mariah GP
I
win.
don't
I
care.
think that
I'm
would
there.
be
I don't
okay.
care. I'm
Sure.
there. Mirai
Sure.
winning.
I'm in. I'm
Um,
all in.
but no, I'm pumped for this match. I think it'll be great. We haven't talked about the actual match. I'm
You don't
expecting
need to.
really good things.
People know what
And
they're getting.
yeah,
All
but
right.
yeah,
You've convinced me. Aroha for the win. If not, I'll be sad next week. Well, not next week, because next week it's gonna be a weird like in between, because it's gonna be the day before
yeah.
when we record. So we're doing this now instead. Yeah, that's all for Marigold.
Which sucks because I would love to review this next
Yeah,
week.
I know, but it's gonna
This
be
is
the
this
week
is like
after.
their
I think we're gonna have to do
coolest.
Sapporo and this in the same week. It's gonna be awful.
This is like their coolest Korakuen in like
It's got
ever.
Mio and Mayu
Yeah,
tagged. So
exactly.
yeah, but Dylan, I hate to do this to you. I do
You
have to
gotta get
leave.
it off. I
My
know.
precious Chelsea are 10 minutes deep into a football match.
Boo. Fuck
So,
Chelsea.
that's crazy. So, if you understand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in.
Oh, shine forever, Stardom Quest Gold. Isho.
Passion.
Pashan. Never forget.